Hey everyone, welcome to Older Men's Secrets. I'm your go-to expert on the psychology of attraction. Here to share the insider tips on how mature guys can win the hearts of younger women. Today's topic? The 7 subtle habits that 50s and 60s men use to attract younger women. Ever wondered why some older guys effortlessly charm younger women while others struggle? Spoiler alert. It's not about flashy looks or a fat wallet. It's about those small, polished habits that come from maturity and life experience. These habits don't just make you more attractive, they make your life richer and more meaningful. 2. Picture this. With just the 7 simple habits we're diving into today, you can draw in a vibrant, beautiful younger woman. No need to reinvent yourself or play a part that's not you. Just tweak your daily actions a bit, and you'll feel the difference. These habits are rooted in the psychology of attraction, naturally clicking with a younger woman's heart and emotions. From heartfelt listening to staying cool and collected to sharing stories that hit deep. We're about to walk through the steps to become your best self. So, before you get comfy, take a quick second to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, but only if you're vibing with what I'm sharing here. I'm inviting you on a journey, not just about romance, but about living a fuller, more connected life. Got a notepad ready? What we're about to cover might just shift how you see yourself and how you connect with others. Let me kick things off with a quick story. I recently met a guy named Tom, 55 years young. Tom used to think his age was a brick wall keeping him from connecting with younger women. But after he started practicing a few of the habits we're talking about today, something clicked. He started carrying himself with confidence and a touch of class. Soon enough, a 28-year-old woman named Sarah was not only striking up conversations with him but asking to hang out again. What changed? It's all about those small but powerful habits we're diving into. These moves don't just help you attract younger women, they make you feel proud of the man you are. So, grab a drink, let the chill background music set the mood, and let's start this journey together. From listening in a way that captivates to setting boundaries that show your maturity. We'll unpack these 7 habits one by one. Each one is a piece of the puzzle that makes you a magnetic, respected man. Let's get started. Alright, folks. Welcome to the first step of our journey. Today, we're diving into the number 1 habit for men in their 50s and 60s to attract younger women: active listening. This isn't just about hearing someone out, it's about truly connecting with their heart and soul. Psychology tells us that one of the deepest human desires is to feel understood. For younger women, especially those in their late teens to 30s, a guy who takes their thoughts and feelings seriously is like catnip. They're not looking for surface-level chit-chat, they crave genuine empathy and interest. From my experience, active listening is one of the most powerful tools in the dating game. It bridges the age gap and builds a real connection. So, why is active listening such a big deal? Younger women are bombarded daily by noise, work stress, social media, endless group chats. When someone genuinely tunes in and respects their emotions, it makes them feel seen in a way that stands out. Studies in psychology show that active listening builds trust and makes someone think, "This guy gets me." For men in their 50s and 60s, this is your chance to shine. Your calm, attentive presence is a kind of charm that youth and flash can't touch. Let's paint a picture. Imagine Tom, a 55-year-old guy, meeting Sarah, a 28-year-old, at a cozy coffee shop. As Sarah opens up about her work stress or dreams for the future, Tom sets his phone aside, looks her in the eyes, and nods thoughtfully. "That sounds tough," he says gently. "How did that make you feel?" He doesn't interrupt or steer the conversation elsewhere, he just listens. Sarah's blown away, thinking, "I've never met someone who listens like this." That moment sparks something special. She starts looking forward to their talks and even suggests another meet-up. That's the magic of active listening. It's not just a technique, it's a way to show you genuinely care. Ready for some practical tips on how to master this? First off, give her your full attention during a conversation. Put the phone down. Don't glance around the room. Focus on her. Make eye contact, nod, and toss in questions like, "What happened next?" or "How did that feel?" These little cues show she's valued. Next, mirror her emotions with your words. If she says, "Work's been exhausting lately," respond with, "Man, that sounds draining. What's been the toughest part?" This kind of response validates her feelings and deepens the connection. Here's a key tip. Hold back on sharing your own stories right away. Men in their 50s and 60s have a treasure trove of life experiences. But jumping in with, "I had a similar thing happen back in the day," can make her feel like her story got sidelined. Instead, keep the spotlight on her. If you want to relate, keep it brief, like, "I totally get that. I felt something similar years ago." That's enough to show empathy without stealing the stage. Don't shy away from silence, either. A pause in the conversation isn't awkward, it's powerful. Psychology shows that a little quiet time gives her space to think and share deeper thoughts. When Sarah paused to gather her thoughts, Tom didn't rush to fill the gap. He waited patiently, and that gave her the confidence to open up even more. Those small moments build trust like nothing else. Finally, active listening gets better with practice. Try it out with friends or family. When a buddy vents about work, say, "That sounds rough. What's been the hardest part?" Get comfortable reflecting their emotions. One of my clients, a 58-year-old guy named Mark, started doing this and said his conversations with younger women became amazingly smooth. He found himself more relaxed, and the chats just flowed. Active listening is more than just hearing, it's about being present and making her feel like she matters. Nail this habit, and younger women will not only enjoy your company but will be eager to see you again. Up next, we'll talk about how a calm, composed demeanor can be your secret weapon in attraction. I've got more real-life examples and tips lined up, so stay tuned. Alright, last time we covered how active listening can win over a younger woman's heart by showing genuine care and building trust. Now, let's dive into the second habit for men in their 50s and 60s to attract younger women. A calm demeanor. From a psychological perspective, staying cool and composed screams maturity and stability, two things that are incredibly appealing to women in their late teens to 30s. Younger women often deal with daily stress or unpredictable environments, and they're naturally drawn to a man who feels like a steady anchor in the storm. Your ability to stay unruffled is like offering them a safe harbor. Why does a calm demeanor pack such a punch? Psychology links emotional stability to leadership and trustworthiness. Younger women, who often navigate emotional ups and downs, are instinctively attracted to men who can keep their cool under pressure. I've had countless clients tell me that embracing a calm demeanor made their conversations and dates with younger women feel effortless. This habit lets you lean into the depth of experience that comes with age. By staying steady and relaxed, you signal that you're someone she can rely on. Let's look at an example. Picture Mike, a 58-year-old guy, out on a dinner date with Emily, who's 25, when the waiter brings the wrong dish and Emily starts to get a bit frustrated. Mike doesn't get flustered or snap. Instead, he flashes a calm smile and politely says to the waiter, "Hey, could you double-check the order for us, please?" Then he turns to Emily and says with a light chuckle, "These things happen. Let's make the most of our night." His easygoing vibe instantly puts Emily at ease, and she thinks, being around him just feels so relaxing. That moment shifts the mood, and soon she's looking forward to their next date. Mike's calm demeanor turned a small hiccup into a chance to shine. So, how do you build this habit? Here are some practical tips. Start by practicing staying cool in everyday stressful moments. Stuck in traffic or facing a tight work deadline? Take 3 deep breaths and tell yourself, "This isn't a big deal." Psychology backs this up. Deep breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, helping you stay calm. Apply this during dates or conversations. 2. If she's venting or emotional, pause for a breath before responding. For example, if Emily says, "Work's been driving me crazy lately," don't jump in right away. Instead, reply softly, "That sounds rough. Want to talk it through?" This gives her space to open up and feel safe. Next, pay attention to your voice and tone. A calm demeanor shines through when you speak slowly and in a lower pitch. Rushed or high-pitched voices can signal nervousness, which might make her feel uneasy. Like Mike, use a steady, relaxed tone to help her feel at ease. Try practicing in front of a mirror, saying something like, "It's all good. Let's take it slow." One of my clients, a 56-year-old named Dave, found that just tweaking his tone led to younger women calling him so chill and reassuring. Body language matters, too. A calm man moves with purpose and keeps his posture relaxed. During a date, sit back comfortably in your chair. Keep your arms open, no crossing them. And stay steady. Research shows that open body language builds trust and puts people at ease. When Emily was talking, Mike leaned back slightly, nodded, and listened without fidgeting. That signaled, "I'm here for you," and made her feel valued. Another tip: master the art of the pause. When she expresses strong emotions, don't rush to fix things or offer advice. Instead, acknowledge her feelings first. If she's upset, say, "That sounds really tough," and let her process. This pause shows you respect her emotions, which younger women especially appreciate. When Mike responded to Emily's frustration with, "That's gotta be hard," and gave her a moment, she felt heard and opened up even more. Finally, to cultivate a calm demeanor, try adding mindfulness to your daily routine. Spend 5 minutes each morning meditating, close your eyes, focus on your breath, and let go of mental clutter. This builds resilience to stress and helps you stay composed in any situation. Many of my clients have said that starting meditation made them less reactive in conversations with younger women. Mike, for instance, credits daily meditation with giving him the mental clarity to stay cool on dates, making his calm vibes second nature. A calm demeanor is like being a safe haven for a younger woman. Master this habit, and she'll feel at ease around you, eager for more time together. Next up, we'll explore how polished personal care can boost your appeal. I've got more stories and actionable tips ready, so stick around. Alright, last time we talked about how a calm demeanor can make younger women feel secure and build trust, letting men in their 50s and 60s showcase their mature charm. Now, let's dive into the third habit: polished personal care. When you hear appearance, you might think it's about flashy fashion or trying to look younger. But that's not the deal. From a psychological standpoint, younger women are drawn to men who exude cleanliness and a style that fits them like a glove. For guys in their 50s and 60s, subtle care that highlights you leaves a lasting impression on her heart. Why does personal care matter so much? Psychology says that 90% of a first impression comes from how you present yourself. For women in their late teens to 30s, a man's cleanliness and refined style signal self-respect and a put-together lifestyle. I've had tons of clients share that simple tweaks to their appearance led to younger women saying, "You're so easy to be around." Over-the-top designer brands or overly youthful outfits can backfire, but a polished, age-appropriate look amplifies your experience and maturity, making you undeniably attractive. Let's set the scene. Picture Dave, a 52-year-old guy who used to show up to dates in baggy tees and worn-out jeans. Before a date with 26-year-old Lily, he took my advice and switched things up: a crisp white shirt, a dark blazer, and clean leather shoes. He neatened his hair and added a subtle spritz of cologne. When Lily saw him, she thought, "He's got this classy, grounded vibe." During their date, his polished look made her feel at ease, and she naturally found herself thinking, "I want to see him again." This shows that refined personal care isn't just about looks, it creates a sense of trust and comfort. Ready to make this habit your own? Here's how to nail it. First, double down on the basics of cleanliness. Daily showers, trimmed nails, whitened teeth, and freshly pressed clothes are non-negotiable. For example, Dave made sure to clip his nails, brush his teeth, and iron his shirt before his date, which led Lily to think, "This guy takes care of himself." Psychologically, cleanliness is seen as a sign of self-discipline, which builds trust with women. Once a week, stand in front of a mirror and ask yourself, "Would I feel confident taking this look on a date?" Next, choose a style that suits your age. For men in their 50s and 60s, simple, high-quality clothing works wonders. Think dark chinos, a well-fitted shirt, or a lightweight sweater paired with a classic watch for a touch of sophistication. Like Dave, Picking a subtle blazer can highlight your mature charm. Flip through a men's style magazine or ask a trusted store clerk to help find pieces that match your body type and vibe. One of my clients, a 59-year-old named Steve, started wearing a sharp navy blazer and got compliments from women saying he looked vibrant and distinguished. Pay attention to the details. 2. Keep your hair neat and age-appropriate. A well-groomed cut looks great. Even with some gray, Dave consulted his barber for a style with short sides and a bit of volume on top. Blending youthfulness with class. A light cologne or body mist can also work magic. But go easy. Choose a subtle scent that lingers softly. When Lily caught a hint of Dave's cologne, she smiled and said, "You smell nice," which boosted his confidence instantly. Another key is posture and movement. Studies show that standing tall with relaxed, deliberate movements projects confidence and stability. On a date, sit back comfortably, keep your shoulders loose, and avoid rushed gestures. When Dave chatted with Lily, he held his coffee cup calmly, stood straight, and moved with ease, making her think, "This guy's got it together." Practice your posture in front of a mirror or try yoga or stretching to keep your body limber. Finally, polished personal care reflects a deeper message: you value yourself. Younger women are drawn to men who take pride in their appearance. Set aside time each week to review your look and ask, "Does this represent the best version of me?" If your clothes no longer fit, invest in new ones promptly. These small efforts make a big difference. One of my clients, a 56-year-old named Mark, started a simple grooming routine and said it gave him a newfound confidence in conversations with women. Polished personal care sends a message beyond looks. It shows you respect yourself and value your connections. Master this habit, and younger women will feel comfortable and drawn to you naturally. Next, we'll explore how light sense of humor can close the emotional gap. I've got more stories and practical tips ready, so stay tuned. Looking back on our journey so far, we've learned how a calm demeanor creates a sense of security and trust, letting men in their 50s and 60s shine with mature charm. Now, let's dive into the fourth habit, a light sense of humor. From a psychological perspective, humor is a superpower. It breaks down emotional walls and builds instant rapport. Younger women, especially those in their late teens to 30s, are drawn to guys who can share a natural, easygoing laugh instead of coming off as stiff or overly serious. Humor bridges the age gap, adding warmth and fun to conversations like a spark of magic. Why is humor so effective? Psychology shows that laughter reduces stress and strengthens emotional connections. Younger women, often caught up in daily pressures, crave moments of lightness. For men in their 50s and 60s, a touch of humor rooted in life experience can make her think, "I love being around this guy." Many of my clients have shared that adding just the right dose of humor made their chats with younger women flow effortlessly, often leading to, "I can't wait to see you again." You don't need over-the-top jokes or trying to act like a 20-something. A subtle smile or a witty comment is all it takes. Let's paint a picture. Imagine Jack, a 60-year-old guy, on a coffee date with 27-year-old Mia. When Mia says, "I've been so swamped lately, I barely get a break," Jack grins and replies, "I hear ya. Back in my day, I was so busy that my best friend was the coffee pot." Mia cracks up, her tension melting away. Then Jack adds, "But honestly, hanging out with you is the best break I've had in a while." Mia beams, saying, "You're such a vibe." That moment seals it. She's hooked. Enjoying their time together and suggesting another meet-up. This shows how humor lightens the mood and pulls people closer. Ready to bring some humor into your game? Here's how to do it. First, aim to make her smile, not to steal the show. Skip heavy sarcasm or edgy jokes and go for something warm and simple. For example, if Mia says, "I keep messing up lately," you could respond, "Hey, mistakes are just practice runs for success. I've spilled enough coffee to be a pro at it." This kind of light humor makes her laugh and feel at ease. Psychologically, laughter triggers oxytocin, which boosts closeness. Next, try a bit of self-deprecating humor. It's a great way to seem approachable. Men in their 50s and 60s can poke fun at themselves lightly. like their age or minor quirks. To break the ice. For instance, when Jack was squinting at the cafe menu, he chuckled, "I might need reading glasses soon." Mia laughed and said, "No way, you're totally killing it." This kind of humor softens any stiffness and helps her relax. Just keep it light. Too much self-criticism can come off as insecurity. You can also lean into situational humor. Turn little moments into playful comments. If a nearby table is loud, you might say, "Wow, that table's having the kind of party I used to throw in my 20s. Mia might giggle and ask, "What kind of parties were those?" One of my clients, a 57-year-old named Tom, started using these situational quips and said, "My conversations never run dry now." He found that turning everyday moments into light laughs kept the vibe fun and engaging. Timing is everything. Humor should flow naturally, not interrupt the conversation. If she's sharing something serious, listen fully and wait for the right moment to add a light comment. For example, after Mia finishes venting about work, Jack might say, "All right, enough work talk. Tell me about your favorite dessert instead." This keeps the mood upbeat and the conversation rolling. Psychology backs this up. Well-timed humor lifts her spirits and deepens the connection. Finally, sharpen your humor in everyday life. Try tossing light, witty comments into chats with friends or family. If a buddy says, "I'm slammed with work," you could reply, "Busy's a sign you're winning. I'm just trying to look busy these days." Practicing this builds confidence. One of my clients, a 55-year-old named Mike, started testing humor in daily conversations and said, "I'm not nervous talking to younger women anymore. It became second nature." A light sense of humor is like a magic wand. It closes emotional gaps and makes her think. This guy's a blast to be around. Master this habit, and younger women will cherish their time with you. Eager for the next hangout? Next up, we'll explore how sharing life stories can create deep, meaningful connections. I've got more examples and actionable tips ready, so stay tuned. Our journey's getting more exciting, isn't it? Last time, we explored how light sense of humor can close the gap with younger women, creating a fun, relaxed vibe. A well-placed laugh makes men in their 50s and 60s approachable and magnetic. Now, let's dive into the fifth habit, sharing life stories. From a psychological perspective, storytelling is a powerful tool that builds emotional bonds and resonates deeply. Younger women, especially those in their late teens to 30s, are captivated by the rich experiences of older men. By sharing your stories, you transform from just an older guy into someone with a compelling, unique personality. Why are stories so impactful? Psychology tells us that storytelling fosters empathy and trust. People connect through shared emotions, gaining insight into each other's values and perspectives. Younger women often crave meaningful conversations over small talk, and the life experiences of men in their 50s and 60s are a goldmine for offering fresh perspectives and inspiration. Many of my clients have shared that telling the right story led to younger women saying, "I want to hear more." Stories bridge the age gap and create deep, emotional connections. Here's an example. Picture Tom, a 57-year-old guy, on a park stroll date with 24-year-old Emma. When Emma shares, "I messed up at work recently and I'm feeling so unsure of myself," Tom smiles gently and says, "I had a big flop early in my career, too. I tanked a major project and got chewed out by a client. It stung, but it made me stronger. Looking back, I wouldn't be who I am without that lesson." Emma's eyes light up, and she asks, "How did you get through it?" Tom's calm sharing of his experience draws her in, building trust and warmth. She starts thinking, "I want to have more talks like this," and eagerly looks forward to their next date. This shows that a story isn't just a tale, it's a bridge to emotional connection. So, how do you share life stories effectively? Here are some practical tips. First, pick stories with a meaningful lesson. Experiences of overcoming failure or tackling challenges work especially well. For example, Tom's story about his career setback showed resilience and humanity, making Emma feel connected. Keep your story concise. Aim for 2 to 3 minutes. Psychology shows that short, impactful stories grab attention and tug at the heartstrings. Emma was hooked because Tom's story was brief yet heartfelt. Next, tie your story to hers. When she shares a struggle or experience, respond with a related story of your own. If Emma says, "I'm losing confidence at work," Tom might start with, "I've been there myself." This creates a bridge of empathy, which psychology says deepens trust. But don't hog the spotlight. Keep her story at the center and use yours to complement it. This balance shows you're listening and relating. Your tone and delivery matter. 2. Speak with warmth and a calm voice, infusing emotion to make the story resonate. When Tom shared his failure, he added a slight smile and said, "It's kind of funny looking back now." That touch of lightness made his story relatable. One of my clients, a 55-year-old named Mike, practiced adding emotion to his stories and said, "Younger women can't get enough of my stories now." He learned to pause briefly and smile mid-story, drawing his listener in. Another tip: choose stories with a positive ending. Even if it's about a tough moment, wrap it up with a lesson like, "That experience made me who I am." This gives her hope and inspiration. Emma felt motivated to push through her own struggles after Tom's story ended on an uplifting note. Research shows that positive stories lift moods and strengthen bonds. Finally, practice storytelling in daily life. Try sharing short experiences with friends or family. If a buddy asks, "What challenges did you face when you were younger?" tell a 2 to 3 minute story. This builds confidence. One of my clients, a 59-year-old named Steve, started practicing storytelling daily and said, "My conversations with younger women never stall anymore." He found that sharing brief tales of his successes or setbacks naturally brought him closer to others. Sharing life stories is the key to forging deep connections with younger women. Master this habit, and she'll see you not just as an acquaintance but as someone she truly connects with. Next, we'll explore how respecting her boundaries showcases your mature charm. I've got more stories and practical tips lined up, so stay tuned. Our journey's getting more exciting, isn't it? Last time, we explored how a light sense of humor can close the gap with younger women, creating a fun, relaxed vibe. A well-placed laugh makes men in their 50s and 60s approachable and magnetic. Now, let's dive into the fifth habit: sharing life stories. From a psychological perspective, storytelling is a powerful tool that builds emotional bonds and resonates deeply. Younger women, especially those in their late teens to 30s, are captivated by the rich experiences of older men. By sharing your stories, you transform from just an older guy into someone with a compelling, unique personality. Why are stories so impactful? Psychology tells us that storytelling fosters empathy and trust. People connect through shared emotions, gaining insight into each other's values and perspectives. Younger women often crave meaningful conversations over small talk, and the life experiences of men in their 50s and 60s are a goldmine for offering fresh perspectives and inspiration. Many of my clients have shared that telling the right story led to younger women saying, "I want to hear more." Stories bridge the age gap and create deep, emotional connections. Here's an example. Picture Tom, a 57-year-old guy, on a park stroll date with 24-year-old Emma. When Emma shares, "I messed up at work recently and I'm feeling so unsure of myself," Tom smiles gently and says, "I had a big flop early in my career. 2. I tanked a major project and got chewed out by a client. It stung, but it made me stronger. Looking back, I wouldn't be who I am without that lesson." Emma's eyes light up, and she asks, "How did you get through it?" Tom's calm sharing of his experience draws her in, building trust and warmth. She starts thinking, "I want to have more talks like this," and eagerly looks forward to their next date. This shows that a story isn't just a tale, it's a bridge to emotional connection. So, how do you share life stories effectively? Here are some practical tips. First, pick stories with a meaningful lesson. Experiences of overcoming failure or tackling challenges work especially well. For example, Tom's story about his career setback showed resilience and humanity, making Emma feel connected. Keep your story concise. Aim for 2 to 3 minutes. Psychology shows that short, impactful stories grab attention and tug at the heartstrings. Emma was hooked because Tom's story was brief yet heartfelt. Next, tie your story to hers. When she shares a struggle or experience, respond with a related story of your own. If Emma says, "I'm losing confidence at work," Tom might start with, "I've been there myself." This creates a bridge of empathy, which psychology says deepens trust. But don't hog the spotlight. Keep her story at the center and use yours to complement it. This balance shows you're listening and relating. Your tone and delivery matter. 2. Speak with warmth and a calm voice, infusing emotion to make the story resonate. When Tom shared his failure, he added a slight smile and said, "It's kind of funny looking back now." That touch of lightness made his story relatable. One of my clients, a 55-year-old named Mike, practiced adding emotion to his stories and said, "Younger women can't get enough of my stories now." He learned to pause briefly and smile mid-story, drawing his listener in. Another tip: choose stories with a positive ending. Even if it's about a tough moment, wrap it up with a lesson like, "That experience made me who I am." This gives her hope and inspiration. Emma felt motivated to push through her own struggles after Tom's story ended on an uplifting note. Research shows that positive stories lift moods and strengthen bonds. Finally, practice storytelling in daily life. Try sharing short experiences with friends or family. If a buddy asks, "What challenges did you face when you were younger?" tell a 2 to 3 minute story. This builds confidence. One of my clients, a 59-year-old named Steve, started practicing storytelling daily and said, "My conversations with younger women never stall anymore." He found that sharing brief tales of his successes or setbacks naturally brought him closer to others. Sharing life stories is the key to forging deep connections with younger women. Master this habit, and she'll see you not just as an acquaintance but as someone she truly connects with. Next, we'll explore how respecting her boundaries showcases your mature charm. I've got more stories and practical tips lined up, so stay tuned, our journey's getting deeper. Isn't it? Last time, we explored how sharing life stories builds emotional connections with younger women, resonating with their hearts and fostering trust. Now, let's dive into the 6th habit: respecting her boundaries. From a psychological perspective, respecting boundaries is a hallmark of maturity and self-awareness. And it's a huge draw for women in their late teens to 30s. When men in their 50s and 60s show respect for a woman's personal space and emotions, it creates a sense of safety and trust that makes her want to take the relationship further. Why is respecting boundaries such a big deal? Psychology tells us that honoring someone's personal space and emotional limits makes them feel valued and respected. Younger women often deal with their pace or feelings being overlooked in the chaos of social media, work, or friendships. A man who respects their space without being pushy stands out as someone special. Many of my clients have shared that being mindful of boundaries led to younger women saying, "I feel so comfortable with you." This habit taps into the thoughtful maturity that men in their 50s and 60s naturally bring to the table. Let's look at an example. Imagine Brian, a 54-year-old guy, on a dinner date with 29-year-old Lauren. When Lauren mentions, "I've been swamped lately and just need some me time," Brian nods and says gently, "That's so important. What kind of time do you need to recharge?" He listens intently. Later, when Lauren says, "This week's crazy, but maybe we can catch up next week," Brian responds with a calm, "Sounds good, whenever you're ready. I'm here." Lauren's touched by his understanding, thinking, "I've never met someone so considerate." That moment makes her excited for their next date and eager to deepen their connection. This shows how respecting boundaries builds trust and moves a relationship forward naturally. So, how do you master this habit? Here are some practical tips. First, pay attention to her cues for boundaries. If Lauren says, "I'm busy this week," it might mean she needs a little space. Don't push for plans or bombard her with texts. Instead, say something like, "Got it, take your time, let me know when you're up for a chat." Psychologically, respecting her pace builds trust and strengthens the connection. Brian's response to Lauren showed he understood her needs, making her feel safe and valued. Next, be mindful of emotional boundaries. If she sidesteps personal topics or seems hesitant to dive deeper, don't pry. For instance, If Lauren briefly mentions work stress but doesn't elaborate, say, "That sounds tough. I'm here if you want to talk more." This gives her the freedom to open up on her terms. One of my clients, a 58-year-old named Mark, started practicing this and said, "Younger women open up to me so much more now." By waiting for her to share at her own pace, he found conversations naturally deepened. Physical boundaries matter, too. If she keeps a bit of distance or avoids physical touch, respect that. When Lauren sat a little farther away at the cafe, Brian didn't lean in too close. He kept a relaxed posture and let her set the vibe. Research shows that respecting physical space creates comfort and builds trust. On dates, observe her body language and maintain a comfortable distance, like sitting across the table calmly. If she moves closer, you can match her energy naturally. Another tip: adjust your contact frequency. Younger women can feel overwhelmed by too many messages. Instead of texting daily, try a light message every couple of days. When Brian sent Lauren a simple, "Had a great time, let's talk soon," and waited for her reply, she appreciated his respect for her space. One of my clients, a 56-year-old named Steve, cut back on texting and noticed women started reaching out to me first. It showed he valued their pace. Finally, make respecting boundaries a daily habit by practicing with friends or family. If a friend seems busy, say, "Let's catch up when you've got time." This builds your sensitivity to others' needs. One of my clients, a 55-year-old named Mike, started doing this and said, "My connections with younger women feel so much smoother now." It became second nature to respect their space. Respecting her boundaries is one of the most attractive traits a mature man can have. Master this habit, and younger women will feel safe and eager to open up, cherishing their time with you. Next, we'll wrap up with the final habit, tying all these elements together to make you a truly magnetic man. I've got more stories and practical tips ready, so stay tuned. We've reached the final chapter of our journey. And what a ride it's been. Last time, we learned how respecting boundaries creates a safe space for younger women, building trust and showing the thoughtful maturity of men in their 50s and 60s. Now, for our 7th habit, we're tying it all together with a asterisk blueprint for becoming a magnetic man. We'll look at how to weave the 6 habits we've covered into your daily life to naturally deepen connections with younger women. From a psychological perspective, these habits combine to amplify both your inner and outer appeal, creating a powerful presence. We've explored active listening, a calm demeanor, polished personal care, a light sense of humor, sharing life stories, and respecting boundaries. Each habit is effective on its own, but together, they're like puzzle pieces that form a complete picture of your charm. Psychology shows that consistent, authentic behavior builds trust and likability. Younger women, especially those in their late teens to 30s, are drawn to men who are consistently genuine, empathetic, and steady. For men in their 50s and 60s, these habits leverage your experience and maturity to leave a lasting impression on her heart. Let's bring it to life with an example. Picture Steve, a 56-year-old guy, who's been on a few dates with 25-year-old Chloe. Steve deliberately practiced the habits we've discussed. When Chloe shared her work struggles, he listened actively, saying, "That sounds tough, how's it been for you?" to show he cared. When a mix-up happened at the restaurant, he stayed calm, handled it smoothly, and tossed in a light, "Well, that's life's way of keeping us on our toes, right?" to make Chloe laugh. With a sharp, clean look and a quick story about a career mishap from his younger days, he made Chloe feel, "I can be myself with him." And when she mentioned needing a busy week to herself, Steve respected her space, saying, "Take your time, I'm here when you're ready." This consistent approach built deep trust. And Chloe thought, "I've never met someone this amazing." She couldn't wait for their next date. This shows how combining these habits creates a natural, irresistible charm. So, how do you make these habits part of your everyday life? Here's the game plan. Start by weaving them into your daily routine with small, intentional steps. Each morning, spend 5 minutes checking your posture in the mirror and picking a clean, sharp outfit. In conversations at work or with friends, Practice active listening by asking questions that reflect their emotions. Like, how did that feel? Steve did this with Chloe, and it became second nature. Psychology says these small, repeated actions turn into natural habits over time. Next, stay calm in stressful moments. Whether it's a hectic day or an emotional conversation, take 3 deep breaths and remind yourself. No need to rush. One of my clients, a 59-year-old named Tom, started morning meditation and said, "I can stay cool in any situation now." This calmness boosts your confidence in daily life and on dates. Also, make a habit of practicing light humor or sharing a quick life story once a week with friends or family. Like Steve's coffee spill anecdote. These moments hone your storytelling skills. Respecting boundaries should also become second nature. Always tune into others' needs. If a friend seems busy, say, "Let's catch up when you're free." Steve's, "Take your time," response to Chloe showed he valued her pace. Building trust. Psychology confirms that consistently respecting others creates a foundation for lasting connections. One of my clients, a 55-year-old named Mike, started doing this daily and said, "Younger women open up to me so easily now." The key to tying it all together? It's about valuing yourself. These habits, polished appearance, emotional stability, humor, storytelling, respecting boundaries, stem from self-respect. Set aside time each week to reflect on your progress. Ask, which habits worked well? Where can I improve? Steve did this and decided to lean more into humor, which took his charm to the next level. Many of my clients say this self-reflection made conversations with younger women feel fun and effortless. These 7 habits don't just make you attractive, they guide you toward a richer, more fulfilling life. Listen actively to connect with her heart. Stay calm to offer security. Present a polished look to show confidence. Use humor to spark joy. Share stories to build deep bonds. And respect boundaries to earn trust. Together, these make you an unforgettable presence in a younger woman's life. Take a moment, close your eyes, and picture this. You're at a cafe, flashing a warm smile as you listen to her story, tossing in a light joke that makes her laugh, sharing a quick tale from your life. Her eyes light up, and she feels something special in your time together. These small habits bring new light to your life. You have the power to move someone's heart. No matter your age, embrace these habits slowly but surely, they're yours to own. This journey isn't the end, it's a new beginning. If you've enjoyed Older Men's Secrets, hit that like button and subscribe. Share this video with friends or someone special to spread the journey of building a magnetic life. Can't wait to see you in the next video.